our studio today, we have Jonathan Vassar and the Speckled Bird. And actually, Jonathan picked that last song for us to hear. And you say it's a song that your mother used to sing for you?
Yes, my mother used to sing that song, and along with "Where Have All the Flowers Gone," and they were big folkies. And I remember one time they actually came into my elementary school. My mother played the bongo drums, and my dad played the recorder. And I was probably in second grade, and I was embarrassed half to death. Now looking back on it, I'm like, well, that was pretty cool. But back then, so we were a pretty musical family. We sang a lot of Peter, Paul, and Mary songs around the campfire. Yeah.
That's great. And I was reading online that a few reviews have compared you to certain folk musicians of note. Pop Matters says, compared you to Tom Waits' direct descendant, referring to what they say is your filmy voice. And then Absolute Punk puts you in a category they call far above the pack of Bob Dylan impersonators. What do you make of these comparisons?
Well, I mean, those are both influences on me, but they're also, I think, influences on any serious songwriter these days. And as far as, you know, I can't even, yeah, it's hard to even address that. We do have a lot of accordion on our songs, and, you know, the pieces with clarinet tend to have a Tom Waits feel. And Bob Dylan, though, you know, it's, whew, he's done just about everything. And, you know, he himself was an impersonator of Woody Guthrie, who, you know, was one of the first great 20th century American folk songwriters who performed his own material. And then, of course, you know, he was influenced by other people, so, you know, it just keeps going back.
Yeah, it does.
Which is, you know, one of the great things about the art of songwriting. But
any other musicians would you say have influenced you in your songs?
A lot of friends, and people I've worked with personally, but and have introduced me to other music, like you know, Graham Parsons, and I didn't really get into country music until I was in my 20s, but you know, Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson and all those guys are just pretty much any songwriter that's, you know, worth their salt, I'm into.
You're right there.
I admire their craft.
Jonathan Vassar and the Speckled Bird are from Richmond. They've performed all around the area and even at the Kennedy Center on Inauguration Weekend in January. What was that like, being on one of the most famous stages in the country on an important day in history?
It was pretty incredible, and it was, yeah, if anyone is musician performer out there and wants to do it, they should definitely apply for it, because it's a great experience, and to have the honor to actually kind of be a part of that weekend was pretty special. And we were, you know, included in some like inauguration weekend guys and stuff, and it was like, wow, that's really cool, especially with this inauguration. You know, it was so amazing. But yeah, that's definitely been a high point as a group, I think. And unfortunately, Josh wasn't with us at that point, but we'll do it again.
And so, for our songwriters who may be listening, what you say you applied for this opportunity to perform at the Kennedy Center?
Generally, it is an application process. You can go to their website, it's the Millennium Stage. They have shows every day, and they're free shows. With us, they, I think, found us through our friend Anna Sheikh Khalili, who's a songwriter and had played there a couple times, and she's on the same record label. So they were looking for someone to fill a spot, and they contacted pretty much everyone on the label, and we were the first ones to get back to them. Because I'm on the ball.
So you won't have all that one. Your first album, The Hours and the Days, has been described as a 7-song country folk album, and I thought it was interesting to hear you say that you didn't get into country until you were in your 20s. Is that a good description of the album?
It's with that record, it's really it's so eclectic. Like each song is almost its own, coming from a different genre. There's definitely a song on there that's kind of country folk rock, but there's another song on there that's almost like klezmer folk, like, you know. Then there's kind of a James Taylor type song, like 70s songwriter. It's really hard to kind of put that record into its own genre, other than just singer-songwriter, I guess.
Which we're very used to here at Acoustic Cafe. A lot of our music that we play doesn't fit into a clear box, and we like it that way.
Yeah, it makes it more interesting, switches it up a little bit.
And one of the interesting things I think about that album is that it was made in organic packing material. Did I read that correctly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so tell me about that. That came out last year, probably in the middle of this sustainability movement. Is that important for you to carry through?
Well, that's something Triple Stamp Records is very very concerned with, and they're starting there's going to be a printing press called Triple Stamp Press, which will be we'll do CD packaging and have all organic recycled materials and eco-friendly inks for silk screening and chemicals and such like that. So it's definitely something that we're going to continue to do. That's every little bit helps.
And in your personal life too, I understand that organic living is very important to you, especially as far as your front yard goes. Can you describe this?
Well, Antonia, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, we really Jonathan puts up with it, but I'm very much into gardening, and we've had front yard gardens before, and it's something that we really enjoy doing, and we really like to support local farmers and love to go to the farmers market, and we're following the Harrisonburg chicken movement very closely, and I've been getting updates from Alexis on it. That was great that the interest was there, and maybe one day Richmond too will join.
And you say your friend Alexis, she's referring to Alexis Morehouse, who sometimes hosts Acoustic Cafe as well, and she is instrumental in bringing Jonathan Vassar and the Speckled Bird to the studio today. And so at one point your garden took over your entire front yard, correct?
Yes, we were the crazy garden in the neighborhood.
And I have to say that it's not so much as me putting up with it. Antonia has a green thumb. I have the thumb of death.
Which is good because we also have bamboo.
She grows things.
Death with bamboo.
She points me towards things that need to die. And need to be. Because that's what I do best. It's like, I can't grow anything worth anything, but I guess it's a good balance there.
And at least you can write good songs.
Yeah, that's right. I can write sad songs about how I can't grow stuff.
That'll be on the next album. Well, Jonathan Vassar and the Speckled Bird will be performing tonight at 8 p.m. at the Camel in Richmond. You can catch that show tonight. Can we hear another song from you?
Sure, would love to.